Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Right, I am going to get stuck in because it's 9:05 and everybody's probably busy with babies and husbands who are trying to recover from that football match. Um, so what I'm going to talk, you're going to have to excuse me. My lip is a little bit swollen, so I might sound a little bit strange because I'm still recovering from this lovely piercing. Can you see? My lip's a little bit swollen, which is another reason I'm not going to talk for too long. So, what I'm going to talk about tonight is the different types of website you can have. I'm going to keep it really simple because this is very much the basics. So, most people that have come over in the last few days are already aware of Etsy. Etsy is a type of selling platform. So lots of people would say my website, referring to their Etsy shop. But in actual fact, it's not a website as such. It's your page on a selling platform. So that's the first type of website you can have, which is a selling platform. That means it's part of an overriding website, Etsy.com, Amazon or Amazon Handmade would be another example. eBay, obviously, another one. So it means you've got your own space, your own page within underneath the main website. Obviously, you can have your own domain, which sends people to your space on the selling platform, but it's not your website because you can't access any of the workings out, any of the back stuff, the admin stuff. You have to follow their rules. And as we found with Etsy in the last few days, they can suddenly change something and you've got absolutely no control over it. They can shut your shop down, they can do all sorts of things and you don't have control. So lots of people have that as their website and their business card, or if they send people there to purchase and will refer to it as their website, but it's not really a website, it's a space. I'm a bit washed out, aren't I? Can you see me? It's a space on a selling platform. And you might also have this if you do MLN, you might MLNM. I'm going to blame my lip, but it's not, it's the glass of wine. You might have your own space on your network marketing company's main domain, so unique and things like that. You can have your own space within their website, but it's not your website, it's their website and your space is underneath it. So that's the first type, selling platform. The second type of website you can have is a website builder. So this would be places like Wix, Create, Squarespace. I'm just going to look at my notes because I wrote a few more. Oh, Shopify, that's a really popular one at the moment. And these are more so that they're your own website, as in you have your own domain, you have your own account, you can put your own terms and conditions. Everything, the way you run it is completely yours. However, you don't, you're not in charge of the hosting plan. So you can have free plans normally, but they're never really free because you always have to pay more for extra things that you want to do for e-commerce and things like that. So you would have your domain, your account within the Wix system or Shopify or Create. So by all intents and purposes, it looks like your website. You can change the colors and put your logo on and all that kind of thing, but you're not in charge of the hosting. So you pay them a monthly fee to have that your space on that website, on that builder, the website builder. And you do have to abide by their restrictions. So it's not necessarily how you run your business, but how you build your website that you're restricted with those sorts of things. Personally, I've used in the past Wix years ago. I signed up to Create, I think, just because I wanted to see how it worked. And I've had a look into Shopify. And they're great if you want to get something up and running quickly without having to learn how to do it very much, because they all have either pre-designed templates, or they're just drag and drop, so you can just literally set it up. It just says put your logo here, and it just does it all, and you can literally set it up in a day, probably half a day. You just have to put your products on there. If you had to pick one, Shopify would be the one to go for, because in terms of SEO, which is search engine optimization, which you must have heard of, Shopify is the best. Now, SEO means using keywords, and this is a whole other subject in itself, but it means that you have to use certain words that you think your ideal customer, the person that's most likely to buy from you, will use when they search for things on Google or Bing or any of the search engines. And a lot of the sites, especially Wix, are quite limited, especially with images, because when you're selling products especially, you want your images to be searchable, which means you need to be able to put keywords and keyword descriptions and alternative descriptions. So if your picture doesn't show up, you have a line of a sentence there to describe what your picture is, and those things can all appear in search engines as well. Shopify is the most useful in terms of that side of SEO, but they are pretty much much of a muchness, if that makes sense. They're all more or less the same idea. I think Shopify's got some really attractive layouts, and it's great if you want to sell. Wix and Create are fine if you want to have just information brochure website. If you're just starting out, you haven't got much money to invest, their free options are great. And then Squarespace is probably the most adaptable of those sorts. You can do programming within it, but it's quite sort of high-end stuff that if you can do programming, you're probably not going to want to do it in Squarespace. But they've got some really nice layouts. They are a bit more expensive, I think, but they make really nice themes and layouts and things, and make really good sort of fashion shops and that kind of stuff. So that's the second type. So you've got selling platforms like Etsy and eBay and Amazon Handmade. You've got website builders like Wix, Create, Squarespace, Shopify. And then your third option is a CMS, a content management system, and that would be WordPress, which is the one that most people use. That they have, I think, nearly 30% of all websites on the internet are built on WordPress, so it's huge. There are other types of CMS, Joomla, Drupal, and there's a few more that escape me at the moment. But WordPress is huge, and it's brilliant. It's what I use, and the thing about WordPress is it's completely yours. You own everything on it. So you have to set up your domain, you have to set up your hosting. You can use any web host that you choose. There are a few really good ones, which I'm going to talk about on Wednesday. I'm going to talk about hosting, because that's something that lots of people struggle with. They don't know who to use, they don't know what it means, they don't know how to do it. It's a big panic. So I'll talk about hosting on Wednesday. So with any of the CMS, I'm just going to talk about WordPress, to be honest, with CMS, because if you're going to do that type of website, you're going to use WordPress. So with WordPress, you set up your domain, you set up your hosting, you get all that linked together, you add WordPress to your hosting, then WordPress comes up where your website is, and you always get the WordPress standard layout. And from there, you can choose a theme. So you can look at all different themes. There's thousands. There's some gorgeous free ones. There's some even more gorgeous paid for ones. You choose a theme, pay for it, anywhere from probably $10 or $15 to hundreds of dollars, but I'd say that $50 is around average for a really good theme, which is probably about 35 quid, I think. Everything's in dollars on WordPress. You just have to get used to it because it's all done that way. Even if anything comes from the UK, they still do it in dollars. You can buy a theme, but you can use a free theme straight away. You can search. It's all within the website. You can just go to themes, choose one you like the look of, activate it, and you have that as your layout. And then from there, you have a customize, and you can add your logo, you add content, you can add shops. And the best thing about WordPress for me is that, well, there's my two favorite things about WordPress. First of all, it's free. For all intents and purposes, you pay for your domain, you pay for your hosting. You don't have to pay another penny if you don't want to. Domain and hosting is normally £5 to £10 a month. Then after that, if you choose a free theme, it doesn't cost you anything. If all of the extras on the website, which I'll talk about, I'm going to talk about WordPress a lot on Thursday. So I won't go into the ins and outs of it in that way now. But with WordPress, there's loads and loads and loads of add-ons, thousands of free things you can pay for, but you can have hosting, domain, WordPress, gorgeous theme, shop for free. You have your WordPress and domain, which you pay for £10 a month normally. WordPress and your shop is free. You don't pay any monthly fees. You do pay for your transaction fees, the same as you would anywhere else. So if you use PayPal, you pay your PayPal fees. You can use other places like, you can set up pretty much any payment system. So I use a company called Stripe, which are really, really good. They're cheaper than PayPal, just about. I think it's still it's 1.4% and 20p per transaction. But I think it goes up and up and up with PayPal, doesn't it? The more you spend, the more it increases or something, so that you end up spending more. Stripe works out cheaper in the long run. So you pay transaction fees on each transaction, but other than that, you don't have to pay anything. Now, obviously you can, because there's all these extra add-ons, but it depends what you want the website to do. This is my other favorite thing about WordPress. It's the sky's the limit. You can build anything you want. You can build just a brochure website, really simple and basic, using a free theme. Load the theme, done in a day, half a day. Or, as I do and have done, you can spend weeks and months building a massive site with all sorts of things on there. And this is why I think it's the best option for people. It seems really daunting, but you can add a free theme. You can just get your basic information up there if you just want to have an online presence. And then at some point or other, if you want to add e-commerce, you can add that on. If you want to completely change the whole website, you can do it from the website that you're already in. Your content's already there. You can change it all. I did I had it changed theme for somebody last week. I redid all their branding, changed the theme, and all her posts and everything she'd been working on for months was all still there. We just changed it up and made it look a bit more professional, because obviously she'd used free themes or a paid for theme, but she wasn't keen on it anymore, and there was another theme she'd found that she preferred. And I didn't have to move anything, we didn't lose anything. And then at some point, if she wanted to add e-commerce on there, we can just add that on. And it can grow and grow and grow, and the sky's the limit. All that can all that can change is, all that you would need to change potentially, is how much is your hosting, so how much space on the hosting company's server you have. But you can do that with your host so simply. So that's why I love WordPress so much, because it's completely adaptable. It grows with you. You can shrink it down, you can add things, you can change things, and any decent web developer can use WordPress as well. So if you have your site built with somebody, and then you decide, a couple of years down the line that you want to change some stuff, you can go to a new web developer and they'll get they know WordPress, and it's easy to do that. There's no worry about how they can change it. Obviously, I will mention the fourth option. I said there were three options. You can have a complete website built from the ground up, with just completely coded, that's just built using HTML and JSS and all that kind of extreme technical stuff, but that's not what you're going to want to do yourself, so I'm not going to bother talking about that. So those are your three options. You've got selling platform like Etsy, you've got website builder like Wix or Shopify, where you pay a monthly fee, but you have your own domain, and then you've got the CMS system, so that would be WordPress. And those are your three options. So if you're thinking about moving from Etsy because of the recent fee increases, just hold off until I've talked to you about WordPress. And then at the end of this week, have a little think about it. Although I would always say, use WordPress, use WordPress, use WordPress, because I love it so much, I understand that it can seem really intimidating, which is why people prefer to use a website builder, because it's so quick and easy. But honestly, WordPress is even more quick and easy. And what I don't like with the builders is, again, they could increase their fees at any time and there's nothing you can do about it. Or, the whole thing could shut down and there's nothing you can do about it. You could spend ages and ages and ages developing this site on there, which feels like your own, and then something could go wrong and it's gone. Or you could decide that it's too restrictive. They're not allowing you to add a membership site on there because they don't do that. You can have a brochure website with just information. You can have e-commerce. But if you want to start teaching tutorials, or with some of them you can't add downloads, there's certain things you can't do in the cart, so you can't ask people to add extra information, and there's just certain restrictions that just don't happen with WordPress. So just hold off, wait till you heard everything I've got to say about WordPress this week, and then have a think about it next week, or over the weekend, before you make any decisions. I would also say, don't plan to quit Etsy. You don't need to quit Etsy. You just need to have a website as well. What I did when I was on Etsy, after I'd built up a fairly good customer base, not massive, I moved all my products over onto my website, and then I encouraged previous customers to purchase from the website with a discount code. So they'd buy something for me in the package, I'd send them a discount code, which they used on my website, which drew them over. Anybody that I spoke to through Facebook, I directed them to my website rather than Etsy. I got search results come through as well, so people would search for things that I sold, which was stationery, incidentally, business stationery, and then they would come through to the website that way. Obviously marketing on Facebook groups and things, all that kind of stuff as well, and direct them directly straight to the website rather than the Etsy shop. But I still had some products on Etsy. My most popular products on Etsy, I think I had 3 on there, and I would sell 1 or 2 of each of those every week still, because it's a really, I use it as another marketing thing, so it was worth paying the few pence per month. I think is it 20p a month per listing, isn't it? It was worth me paying that just for those few listings, because people would still find me, and they still might, they'll go to your Facebook page and they'll search for you if they like your stuff. And I know you can't directly influence people from Etsy to visit your other your website or Facebook or whatever. Excuse me, but you can do it offline. They can't stop you putting anything in the packages or anything like that. So don't quit Etsy, just you need a contingency plan. You need something else that you own, your space, so that if you decide Etsy's not working for you anymore, you can build up more, a bigger customer base via your website. Then you can quit Etsy when the time comes, when it's just not worth it for you anymore, which is what happened with me in the end. I was getting all of my business was coming through the website, and Etsy just became a bit of a distraction, because I just get these random orders and it wasn't serving me anymore, so I got rid of it. So as I said, I will, let me just have a look. Sorry, I'm going to look at my notes. So tomorrow I'm going to talk about domains, what they are, how to get them, what you need to do with them, what's the point of them, how do they work, etc., etc. Wednesday I'm going to talk about hosting. Again, what that means, what you have to have, where do you get it, how do you set hosting up, how do you link domain and hosting together, how do you build a website. It's all going to be there. And then Thursday I'm going to talk about WordPress, and particularly the theme that I think has changed, complete game changer, this theme, that I think everybody should use, even new beginners. It's not free, so we'll talk about free themes as well, but then this other theme, which is absolutely incredible. And then Friday, I haven't got anything planned. So if you've got any questions or anything that you think I should talk about, or anything that would help you in making your decision when it comes to websites, just comment on here or comment in the group or send me a message, and I'll plan to talk about that as well. Friday night I'll leave open in case any subjects come up. So that's it. So I hope that's been helpful. As I say, let me know if you've got any questions and I'll do my best to answer them. And I'll see you tomorrow about the same time, sort of 9ish. If this time's dreadful for you, let me know as well, because I'd like to do a time that's going to suit a lot of people. Obviously, this will still be on the site, so sorry, on the group, so you can watch afterwards. But I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.